Cream cheese, a staple in countless kitchens around the world. Whether slathered on a toasted bagel, whipped into a luscious cheesecake, or used to add richness to your favorite dip, its creamy texture and mild tang are hard to resist. But with every smooth swipe of this beloved spread, a question lingers in the minds of many. Is cream cheese truly as dangerous for your arteries as some headlines and old health myths claim? For decades, cream cheese and other full-fat dairy products have been cast as villains in the battle for cardiovascular health. The main concern? Their high levels of saturated fat and sodium. A standard 2 tablespoon serving of cream cheese delivers about 10 grams of fat, over half of which is saturated, and around 90 milligrams of sodium. These numbers, on the surface, seem to lend credibility to the old warnings. Saturated fats, after all, have long been associated with raising LDL or bad cholesterol, which in turn has been linked to plaque buildup inside arteries, a major risk factor for heart disease. But as nutrition science marches forward, so does our understanding of how foods like cream cheese actually affect our bodies. Recent research is beginning to challenge the narrative that all saturated fats from dairy are equally harmful, and that eating cream cheese in moderation is a recipe for clogged arteries. In 2023, a comprehensive review of multiple studies turned some conventional wisdom on its head. Researchers analyzed the relationship between cheese consumption and cardiovascular risk, focusing on people who ate about 1.5 ounces of cheese, roughly 2 tablespoons, each day. What they found surprised many. Moderate cheese consumption was actually linked to a lower risk of heart disease and stroke. The findings suggest that cheese, including cream cheese, might not be the artery-clogging threat it was once considered, at least when enjoyed in sensible amounts. These results align with a broader shift in how we view dairy as a whole. In 2025, a global analysis of dairy consumption and health outcomes found that people who included dairy in their diets, regardless of the fat content, had a reduced risk of cardiovascular disease and stroke. This isn't to say that cream cheese is a health food, but rather that, in the context of a balanced diet, it's unlikely to be the main culprit in heart troubles for most people. So, what's changed? Why are saturated fats from dairy not the nutritional enemy they were once believed to be? The answer lies in the complexity of whole foods and how they interact with the body. Dairy products, including cream cheese, are more than just their fat content. They also contain calcium, protein, and a unique blend of fatty acids, all of which can influence how the body processes cholesterol and maintains arterial health. Some studies even suggest that the calcium in dairy may help offset the potential cholesterol-raising effects of saturated fat, while the fermentation process in many cheeses could contribute to cardiovascular benefits. It's also important to recognize that not all saturated fats are created equal. The types of saturated fats found in dairy may have different effects on cholesterol levels compared to those found in processed meats or tropical oils. In fact, some research indicates that dairy fats can raise both LDL and HDL, good cholesterol, potentially balancing out the overall impact on heart health. But before you reach for an extra serving of cream cheese with wild abandon, moderation remains the golden rule. While recent studies offer reassurance for cheese lovers, overindulgence in cream cheese, or any high-fat, high-sodium food can still tip the scales toward health problems, especially when combined with other dietary risk factors. Here's what you need to know to enjoy cream cheese without clogging your arteries. First, be mindful of portion size. That rich, creamy spread can add up quickly, both in calories and saturated fat. The American Heart Association recommends limiting saturated fat intake to no more than 5 to 6% of total daily calories for those who need to lower cholesterol, which is about 13 grams per day on a 2,000 calorie diet. With 6 grams of saturated fat in just 2 tablespoons of cream cheese, it's easy to see how moderation is key. Second, consider the bigger picture of your overall diet. Cream cheese is just one ingredient among many. Its impact on your health depends not just on how much you eat, but on what else is on your plate. Diets rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and heart-healthy fats, like those found in nuts, seeds, avocados, and olive oil, can help counterbalance occasional indulgences. For those looking to further reduce risk, there are practical ways to enjoy the creamy goodness of cream cheese while supporting heart health. Opt for reduced fat or light versions of cream cheese, which contain less saturated fat but retain much of the flavor and texture. You can also experiment with blending cream cheese with Greek yogurt or cottage cheese for a lighter, protein-rich spread. Don't forget the sodium. While cream cheese isn't as salty as some processed foods, the sodium content can add up, particularly if you're pairing it with salty crackers, bagels, or smoked salmon. Being mindful of total sodium intake is especially important for people with high blood pressure or those at risk of cardiovascular disease. What about plant-based alternatives? In recent years, the market for dairy-free cream cheese has exploded, with options made from nuts, soy, or coconut oil. Some of these alternatives are lower in saturated fat and sodium, while others are not, so it's always wise to check the nutrition label. Regardless of the source, keeping an eye on portion size and overall fat content is important. Beyond the numbers, the way we eat cream cheese matters too. In many cultures, cheese is enjoyed as part of a meal, not as the main event. Spreading a thin layer on whole grain bread alongside a colorful salad, or using it to add flavor to a vegetable-rich dish, is very different from piling it high on bagels, or using it as the base for rich, calorie-dense desserts. The narrative that a single food, like cream cheese, can single-handedly clog your arteries oversimplifies a much more nuanced reality. Heart health is influenced by a complex interplay of factors: genetics, lifestyle, physical activity, stress, and, yes, diet. But it's the overall pattern of eating that counts most. If you're concerned about cholesterol or heart health, talk to your doctor or a registered dietitian. They can help you tailor your diet to fit your individual needs and risk factors. For many people, the occasional enjoyment of cream cheese is perfectly compatible with a heart-healthy lifestyle. In summary, the latest science suggests that cream cheese does not deserve its reputation as a guaranteed artery clogger. When consumed in moderation and as part of a balanced diet, it can be enjoyed without undue worry. The most important takeaway isn't to cut out cream cheese entirely, but to be thoughtful about how much and how often you indulge, and to balance it with other nutrient-rich foods. So the next time you're tempted by a swirl of cream cheese atop a warm bagel, remember, science is on your side, as long as you keep things in perspective. Enjoying your favorite foods, including cream cheese, can be part of a healthy, happy life. No clogged arteries required. With evolving research guiding us toward moderation rather than restriction, the real secret to heart health lies not in demonizing individual foods, but in embracing a diet that's diverse, balanced, and mindful. So go ahead, enjoy that dollop of cream cheese. Just remember, it's one small part of the bigger picture of your overall health, and that's something worth savoring.